Okay. Hi, my name is Georgia Martin, and I'm going to be discussing the classroom management plan paper that we all had to write. Um, Sorry, my cat's really getting in the way. So, organization is a big skill and foundation of my classroom. I think organization should be looked at more intently than what it is. If I'm not organized, then I can't expect my students to be organized. Then it creates, if I'm not organized, it creates distraction, students getting unfocused, not staying motivated about the lesson being taught. There's a lot of issues with not being organized in the classroom. So, I would want to implement that. Some organization skills I would like to have, I would want to have 3 bins at the front of my classroom. The first bin will be labeled for homework. This is where students can turn in their homework from the night before. The second bin will be parent signature bins, any permission slips that they have. I know a lot of field trips are taken in middle or in elementary school. And also I want to have each student with a planner. I know a lot of schools give them out, and in the planner they'll have their daily assignments along with weekly assignments, and each night I want the parents to sign off on it and turn it in. Now I know parents don't always get the time to really review the daily assignments. They might sign it in the car as they're dropping their student off for the next morning. I understand that, but I still want the parents to sign it. If a student doesn't get the paper signed, then it might be 5 minutes 5 minutes lost for recess, or I'll figure out a consequence depending on how often it happens and how I need to get the parents involved possibly. The third bin will be any late assignments. Now I'm not big on accepting late assignments, however I do know that life goes on. Therefore, I want my students to turn in assignments just to get the points. Points will be deducted each day it's late. However, I will not accept any homework assignments that were assigned in August or September and they're trying to turn it in April and May because, oh no, their grade's not where they want it to be. I won't accept that. I will have a cutoff line for when I will accept papers. Another thing I want to have in my room are little cubbies or hooks on the back of the room where the students can store their book bags. The reason I want this is because it'll help keep clutter out of the aisle and prevent any tripping or falling that could occur. Students do get rambunctious when it becomes snack time or lunchtime or time for them to depart for the day. So I want to just try and avoid any accidents in the classroom as much as I can. So, let's see here. What else? What are the rules of my classroom? Well, number 1 rule is no food and drink. I will allow bottled water because it doesn't leave a stain, a smell, or any kind of sticky residue. However, any other kind of liquids I won't accept. Food should only be taken out of their lunch boxes during snack time and lunchtime. Other than that, I don't want food out. Unless a student has a health condition where they need to eat every few hours, parents need to come to me, we'll address it, and then that student will be allowed to eat in the back of the classroom when the time comes. Another rule is to follow directions the first time they are given. I don't want students asking me 20 times what I told them or what I want them to do for their assignment that they have to work on. I'm not big on repeating myself. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I know I need to work on that when I start teaching because little guys don't always understand something or they're not paying attention. I will probably repeat myself 1 or 2 more times, but I mean that's a big... I just don't want to repeat myself. The directions will be printed clearly on the worksheet and I will say them myself so they already get 2 chances to hear the directions. And I also want to teach 4th to 5th grade math and sciences, so I do expect a little more discipline, more maturity of that class. Another rule I have in my classroom would be to use inside voices and raise your hand. I know that's really childish, it's reiterated all the time for all the classrooms, but I still feel like students need to be reminded of this rule. Because if they get excited about something, if we're doing a review game the day before the test and they want to blurt out answers, they need to keep it calm, keep it cool. Also, raising your hand, it's not fair if you know the answer to something and you blurt out and you don't give your classmates the proper time to answer it. Another rule is no cell phones or any form of technology. Technology has gotten really big nowadays, which is amazing. We've accomplished so much with technology. However, there is a time and place for it, and in my classroom while I am going over subjects, it's not a good time to be on your cell phone. If I see students on cell phones, I will confiscate them and they won't get it back till the end of the day. If I'm confiscating the cell phone from the same student or group of students, then I will hold the cell phone for a few days. Now, if this rule will be implemented, I will make sure to get the consent of the parents if they are okay with that, because I think it's important for parents and teachers to be on the same level when it comes to consequences, rules, procedures, and expectations of the students. I expect my students to be very courteous to one another, as well as when they enter the classroom, they need to immediately enact the classroom rules. So, the beginning of the day, or the morning comes of the school day, homework needs to be signed in, planners need to be put in the bins, book bags need to be hung up, students need to grab their folder and notebook that they need, sit at their desk quietly, and then every morning I will have a fun little 5-minute word assignment that will be on the board, and the student will be able to do it. If they get it right, they'll get a few extra credit points. It'll just help boost like one of their weaker tests or give them that extra oomph to get a B or an A, hopefully an A in my class. So, also I want to have academic honesty, and because that's always important, no cheating, no plagiarism, yada yada, that's all the same. I want to make sure that my students feel comfortable with me as being their teacher, so if they have any issues, they can come to me on the side and we can address whatever is bothering them. Now, another important issue I talked about in my paper is bullying. Bullying is still a very big problem. It's always going to be around. Unfortunately, I don't see it going away. And now that technology has been banned, so has bullying, and now you get cyberbullying. So, some ways I want to implement no bullying would have all the students with the same notebooks and folders. The parents will get a letter in the mail as to what materials in my classroom I expect them to have. So, maybe a red and blue folder and a black and white notebook. I don't know. I'll figure it out when the time comes. I will make sure that we have weekly discussions on problems that a lot of students face in school, such as bullying, what they would do, how they would prevent it, how to have a voice for it, not to be scared to come to a teacher and say, hey, John is making fun of Abby today because she has pigtails in. Something, I know it's minuscule, but it's still important for the students to develop that voice and to realize that bullying is wrong on all levels. So that's another big important part of my paper. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I get an A.